දෙනාට අපි අද භාවනාව පටන් ගමු. හොඳින් හුස්ම ගන්න. හිමින් හුස්ම පිට කරන්න. හොඳ හුස්මක් අරගෙන හිමින් පිට කරන්න. Take a deep breath and exhale very slowly. Do this about 10 times. මේක 10 පාරක් විතර මේ විදිහට කරන්න. මේ ශරීරය සැහැල්ලුවට පත් කරන්න තමයි අපි මෙහෙම කරන්නේ. හිත ගත දෙක සම්බන්ධයි. ඒ නිසා අපි ශරීරයත් සැහැල්ලු කරගෙන තමයි මේ ගමන යන්න ඕනේ. ශරීරයත් පිරිසුදු කරගෙන තමයි මේ ගමන යන්න ඕනේ. So when you are doing this meditation, we have to make sure our body and the mind are both cleansed. They're both relaxed and relieved. So for that, you have to make sure you take a few deep breaths and exhale very, very slowly. Visualize your muscles are not stiff anymore. They are relaxing as you exhale. You are breathing in. You are inhaling all the good energy from the atmosphere, and you are exhaling all the dirt that's inside your body. You're exhaling the dirt. In terms of physical, you're exhaling the dirt. In terms of inside, you're exhaling the bad thoughts and bad energy. I will explain as much as possible in English so that our English listeners can also participate or use this in future. මම හිතනවා සිංහල කතා කරන සියලු දෙනාට මේක තේරෙනවා. ඒ නිසා ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. මම වෙනම සිංහලෙන් කියන්නේ පැහැදිලි කරලා දෙන්නේ නැහැ. So the first thing we do is we need to do some preliminaries. For that, we start with Jayo Munindasa. We visualize that we are under the wonderful Bodhi tree and we are intaking all the good energy, all the powerful energy from the wonderful Bodhi tree, and that strengthens our body. And that gives us strength to walk the path and do this meditation. Sammati sarana saranai. Sammati sarana saranai. Sammati sarana saranai. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Jayo Munindasa Subodhi Mule Ahosimārasa Parajayo Hi Uggosayun Deva Ganapasanna Etena Satchena Jasumayam Jayo Munindasa Subodhi Mule Ahosimārasa Parajayo Hi Uggosayun Deva Ganapasanna Etena Satchena Jayasutayam. Jayo Munindasa Subodhimure Ahosimarasa Parajayohi Ugosindeva Ganapasanna Etena Sachena Suhatiotu. Now we're going to focus on the things that we've done in the past on our journey, on the journey of life. We haven't just done all good things, we have done bad things. So we are kind of apologizing, but at the same time, this apology is not just an apology. We are promising ourselves that we will not do the same mistakes again, same wrongdoings again. And in the second preliminary, what we do is we draw energy from all the Buddhas, all the Pacceka Buddhas, and all the Arahata Buddhas, all the Rahatan Vansalas towards us, and we build a sort of a barrier around us so that we are kind of protected. And in the third one, what we do is, when we do meditate, when we exhale, when we send our bad energy outside, we hope that none of that will affect any of the creatures around us. So that's what we're going to do. The first one is the apology, but it's more of a promising ourselves that we will not do it again, and understanding that we have done things in the past to maybe even who are walking the path, or every living being. Ananta sansare ma pamini gamane mage sita kaya vachana yana tundurin Buddha Dhamma Sangha yana tundurantat Aryan Vahanselatat Buddha Sasanetat Sila Loka Sila Satyantat Yamavada Kasadharnayak Hingya Hinsava Karadara Badakayak Sidvi Sidukratnam E Sielu Varada Pramada Doshenata Samma Sambudrajanan Vahanselabhyasa Pase Budrajanan Vahanselabhyasa Maharatan Vahanselabhyasa Kama Karami Kama Karami Kama Karami. Ananta sansare ma pamini gamane mage sita kaya vachane yana tundurin Buddha Dhamma Sangha yana tundurantat Aryan Vahanselatat Buddha Sasanetat Sila Loka Sila Satyantat Yamavada Kasadharnayak Hingyak Hinsava Karadara Badakayak Sidvi Sidukratnam Sielu Varada Pramada Doshenata Samma Sambudrajanan Vahanselabhyasa Pase Budrajanan Vahanselabhyasa Maharatan Vahanselabhyasa Kama Karami Kama Karami Kama Karami. Ananta sansare ma pamini gamane mage sita kaya vachana yana tundurin Buddha Dhamma Sangha yana tundurantat Aryan Vahanselatat Buddha Sasanetat Sila Loka Sila Satyantat Yamavada Kasadharnayak Hingyak Hinsava Karadara Badakayak Sidvi Sidukratnam E Sila Varada Pramada Doshenata Samma Samudrajanan Vahanselabhyasa Pase Budrajanan Vahanselabhyasa Maharatan Vahanselabhyasa Kama Karami Kama Karami Kama Karami. මෙතෙක් ලොව පහළ වූ සියලු බුදු පසේබුදු මහරහතන් වහන්සේලා විසින් මෙම විශ්වයට මුදාහන ලද්දා වූ සියලු සුද්ධ ශක්තියින්ගෙන් මාහට හිමි කොටස මා වෙත ඇදී ඒවා ඇදී ඒවා ඇදී ඒවා මා වටා පිහිටාවා පිහිටාවා පිහිටාවා. මෙතෙක් ලොව පහළ වූ සියලු බුදු පසේ බුදු මහරහතන් වහන්සේලා විසින් මෙම විශ්වයට මුදාහන් ලද්දා වූ සියලු ශුද්ධ ශක්තියින්ගෙන් මාහට හිමි කොටස මා වෙත ඇදී ඒවා ඇදී ඒවා ඇදී ඒවා මා වටා පිහිටාවා පිහිටාවා පිහිටාවා. මෙතෙක් ලොව පහළ වූ සියලු බුදු පසේ බුදු මහරහතන් වහන්සේලා විසින් මෙම විශ්වයට මුදාහන් ලද්දා වූ සියලු ශුද්ධ ශක්තියින්ගෙන් මාහට හිමි කොටස මා වෙත ඇදී ඒවා ඇදී ඒවා ඇදී ඒවා මා වටා පිහිටාවා පිහිටාවා පිහිටාවා. උතුම් ආදි භාවනාවක් වැඩීමට යන මේ මොහොතේ මාගේ ශරීරයෙන් පිටවන කිසිදු කිරණයකින් හෝ කිරණ මාධ්‍යයකින් බාහිර පරිසරයේ සිටින කිසිදු සත්වයකට හෝ සත්ව කොට්ඨාශයකට ඉංගියක් හිංසාවක් කරදරයක් බාධකයක් සිදු නොවේවා. ඉංගියක් හිංසාවක් කරදරයක් බාධකයක් සිදු නොවේවා. ඉංගියක් හිංසාවක් කරදරයක් බාධකයක් සිදු නොවේවා. Now we are going to recite the qualities of Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Iti piso bhagava arahan samma sambuddho vichacharana sampanno sugato lokavido anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati sattha deva manusanan buddho bhagavati swakato bhagavata dhammo sanditthiko akaniko ehipassiko opanayiko pacchatang veditabbo vinyohiti supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho ujjapatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Nyāyapatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Samijipatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Yadidan cattari purisa yugani atta purisa puggala esa bhagavato sāvaka sangho ahaneyo pahaneyo dakhineyo anjali karaniyo anuttaram puññaketam lokasati. Now we are going to move on to the Arya Maitri Bhavana, or the noble loving and kindness. So in this we are going to recite Ahang Averu Homi. So the idea of this is I have no hatred, I have no raga, dvesha, moha. Basically, when someone has no raga, dvesha, moha, that person is in the state of a Arahatun Vahanse, or an enlightened person. So we're not talking about yesterday, we're not talking about tomorrow, we're talking about this present moment. So therefore, anyone can get to that state. The only thing is you need to make sure you don't roam around, you don't just process what you get from the six senses, you just let it be and then be an observer, and don't go doing something, don't think about it, don't act upon it, don't talk about it. So that's what it is. What comes is vipaka, it's a result. But what you do is what matters. So what we focus on is, at this moment we don't have raga, dvesha or moha, and we are in a tranquil state, and we want everyone else to get to the same state, to understand the tranquility, and one day we will get to that tranquility forever, and we hope everyone else get to the same state one day. Aham avero homi abhyapachomi anigomi Sukhiyatanam pariharami Sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitata Sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitata Sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitata. Aham avero homi abhyapachomi anigomi Sukhiyatanam pariharami Sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitata Sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitata Sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitata. Aham avero homi abhyapachomi anigomi Sukhiyatanam pariharami Sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta. Sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta. Sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta. Sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta. In the next karmasthana, we are going to focus on the six senses, and they are like the oceans. We try to fulfill the senses, but we never can. We take from outside, from the outside world, so these six senses are the inner world, and from the outer world we try to get the vision, the sounds, the smell, the taste, the touch, and the thoughts, and try to fulfill. But we never can. We have tried this in the journey. The whole journey we have been doing this, trying to fulfill it and satisfy them, but we never have. And if we had, then we would have been there. We wouldn't be here, because the moment we satisfy, that's where we live, or we would stay, but we never have. The problem is we still try to fulfill them. So we look at that, focusing on that, and the problem in the world, the uselessness of the world. There is a huge problem. The more you see this problem, the more you want to get away from the world. So that's what we are going to look at in this karmasthana, before we move on to the next ones, where we focus on Nibbhana. So for you to get to Nibbhana, for you to want to go to Nibbhana, or to get to the Nibbhana state, you need to understand the problem in the world, the issue in the world. As samuduraki rupayen nopirena, kana samuduraki shabdayen nopirena, nasaya samuduraki gandhayen nopirena, diva samuduraki rasayen nopirena, kaya samuduraki pottabhayen nopirena, mana samuduraki dhammayen nopirena, lokaya samuduraki asadayen nopirena, lokaya samuduraki asadayen nopirena. ඇස සමුදුරකි රූපයෙන් නොපිරෙනා කන සමුදුරකි ශබ්දයෙන් නොපිරෙනා නාසය සමුදුරකි ගන්ධයෙන් නොපිරෙනා දිව සමුදුරකි රසයෙන් නොපිරෙනා කය සමුදුරකි පොට්ටබ්බයෙන් නොපිරෙනා මන සමුදුරකි ධම්මයෙන් නොපිරෙනා ලෝකය සමුදුරකි අස්සාදයෙන් නොපිරෙනා ලෝකය සමුදුරකි අස්සාදයෙන් නොපිරෙනා ඇස සමුදුරකි රූපයෙන් නොපිරෙනා කන සමුදුරකි ශබ්දයෙන් නොපිරෙනා නාසය සමුදුරකි ගන්ධයෙන් නොපිරෙනා දිව සමුදුරකි රසයෙන් නොපිරෙනා කය සමුදුරකි පොට්ටබ්බයෙන් නොපිරෙනා මන සමුදුරකි ධම්මයෙන් නොපිරෙනා ලෝකය සමුදුරකි අස්සාදයෙන් 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 නොපිරෙනා Now that we understood that these can be fulfilled, now the next step is understanding the tranquility of being disciplined by these senses. So now you focus on the discipline and the tranquility that you get out of these senses by not running around, the peace that you enjoy. You were running around to fulfill them all this time and got tired. You got nothing but you got tired. But now you understand this running around is not what will make you happy. That will give you inner peace is letting it go and letting it be, and then enjoying the tranquility of not running around. So here we focus on that by focusing on the disciplined six senses. Chakuna sangvaro sadhu, sadhu sotena sangvaro, ganena sangvaro sadhu, sadhu jyohaya sangvaro, kayena sangvaro sadhu, sadhu acaya sangvaro, manasa sangvaro sadhu, sadhu sappanta sangvaro, sampatta sangyuto bhikkho, sabba dukkha pamujjati. Chakuna sangvaro sadhu, sadhu sotena sangvaro, ganena sangvaro sadhu, sadhu jyohaya sangvaro, kayena sangvaro sadhu, sadhu acaya sangvaro, manasa sangvaro sadhu, sadhu sappata sangvaro, sappata sangyuto bhikkho, sabba dukkha pamujjata. Chakuna sangvaro sadhu, sadhu sotena sangvaro, ganena sangvaro sadhu, sadhu jyohaya sangvaro, kayena sangvaro sadhu, sadhu acaya sangvaro, manasa sangvaro sadhu, sadhu sappata sangvaro, sappata sangvaro bhikkhu, sabba dukkha pamujjata. Sappata sangyuto bhikkhu, sabba dukkha pamujjata. Sappata sangyuto bhikkhu, sabba dukkha pamujjata. Sampata sangyuto bhikkho, sabba dukkha pamujjata. In the next Karmasthana, we are going to look at the Tuntara Bodhiya, the Buddhas, the Pacceka Buddhas and the Harahata Buddhas, and be grateful for them. And we're going to look at the world and what we do in this world, and understand the uselessness of what we are doing by going after raga, dvesha and moha, and look at the tranquility and the importance of achieving the tranquility. So that's what we're going to focus on in the next Karmasthana. Bhavaya uduradamo tuntara bodhiyata vandimi mama ekasitin e mahaguna kandata ragayen mat vela manavama labannada veshen gati gati manavama dinannada mohen nandavi manavama labannada loken midi midi nivan suwa labannemi ragayen midi midi nivan suwa labannemi dveshen midi midi nivan suwa labannemi mohen midi midi nivan suwa labannemi loken midi midi nivan suwa labannemi bhavaya uduradamo tuntara bodhiyata vandimi mama ekasitin e mahaguna kandata ragayen mat vela manavama labannada dveshen gati gati manavama dinannada mohayen nandavi manavama labannada loken midi midi nivan suwa labannemi ragayen midi midi nivan suwa labannemi dveshen midi midi nivan suwa labannemi සුව ලබන්නෙමි ලෝකෙන් මිදී මිදී නිවන් සුව විඳින්නෙමි භවය උදුරා දැමූ තුන්තරා බෝධියට වඳිමි මම එක සිතින් ඒ මහා ගුණ කඳට රාගයෙන් මත් වෙලා මොනවමා ලබන්නද ද්වේෂයෙන් ගැටි ගැටි මොනවමා විඳින්නද මෝහයෙන් අන්ධ වී මොනවමා ලබන්නද ලෝකයෙන් මිදී මිදී නිවන් සුව ලබන්නෙමි රාගයෙන් මිදී මිදී නිවන් සුව ලබන්නෙමි ද්වේෂයෙන් මිදී මිදී නිවන් සුව ලබන්නෙමි මෝහයෙන් මිදී මිදී නිවන් සුව ලබන්නෙමි ලෝකයෙන් මිදී මිදී නිවන් සුව ලබන්නෙමි නිවන් සුව විඳින්නෙමි නිවන් සුව විඳින්නෙමි නිවන් සුව විඳින්නෙමි In the next karmasthana, we are going to look at the tranquility of Nibbhana by letting everything go, by not roaming around, but by letting the hatreds go, by letting the raga, dvesha, moha go. The more you hold on to them, the more you suffer. The more you let go, you're letting go the suffering. What you're holding on to is a suffering. You think you are holding on to some assets, but these assets you refer to are the sufferings. Without these, you will attain the tranquil state. You are letting it go from your mind, from your heart, from your thoughts. You're not physically letting anything go. You're just letting it out from the mind. That's what is important, because you're holding on with your mind. Even if you let something go off physically, but you're mentally clinging on to that, that's no good, because you're still suffering. But even if you're with something and you're not attached with your mind, then you've let it go. That's what you need to understand. Etan santang etam panitam yadidan sabba sankhara samato sabupadi pati nisago tannakayo virago nirodho nibbhananti etang santang etang panitam yadidan sabba sankhara samato sabupadi pati nisago tannakayo virago nirodho nibbhananti etan santang etan panitam yadidan sabba sankhara samato sabupadi pati nisago tannakayo virago nirodho nibbhananti etam santang etam panitam yadidan sabba sankhara samato sabupadi pati nisago tannakayo virago nirodho nibbhananti nibbhananti nibbhananti. Now comes to the final state of meditation. In this karmasthana, we are going to focus on what we should be doing. So there is nothing left to do except for understanding the Dhamma, comprehending Dhamma, and walking the path, because anything else you do is a waste of time, waste of energy, because you're not fulfilling anything. So that's what we are looking at in the final karmasthana. Once I recite this karmasthana 3 times and say sadhu, 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 you can complete the karmasthana or you can carry on. If you are in a state, in a dhyana or in a jhana, you can carry on for a while if you want to. There's no problem in that. But I will conclude the meditation after reciting this karmasthana 3 times and with sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Nati me saranang anyang, buddho me saranang arang. Nati me saranang anyang, dhammo me saranang arang. Nati me saranang anyang, sangho me saranang arang. Nati me saranang anyang, Nibbānam paramang sukham. Nati me saranang anyang, buddho me saranang arang. Nati me saranang anyang, dhammo me saranang arang. Nati me saranang anyang, sangho me saranang arang. Nati me saranang anyang, nibbānam paramang sukham. Nati me saranang anyang, buddho me saranang arang. Nati me saranang anyang, dhammo me saranang arang. Nati me saranang anyang, sangho me saranang arang. Nati me saranang anyang, nibbānam paramang sukham. Nati me saranang anyang, nibbānam paramang sukham. Nibbānam paramang sukham. Nibbānam paramang sukham. Nibbānam paramang sukham. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.